Good evening. Welcome to Professor and the Hammer podcast. With me, as always, my faithful sidekick, Richard Cloudhammer. Well, Rich?
What's going on? I'm trying to share this on Facebook. I think it works.
Yeah, I see it.
All right, cool.
What's going on, buddy? How was training today?
Huh?
How was training today?
It was good. I was telling you about it. I'm out of it today, so I don't know if it's gonna be a long show. I might be falling asleep half of this thing. I got my eye
Listen, I'm
closed
used to
in
carrying the
training.
show anyway, so it's all right, buddy.
My eye closed in training. Had a mini asthma attack. Freaking Bryce put me through the fucking ground. Like, if you ever watched that anime, Invincible, I felt like he was fucking Omni-Man trying to put me through the fucking subway. I was like, bro, like, it was good. It was good. It was a good night, man. I need that. I need those dudes to fuck me up. So it's good. I got a fight coming up in 3 weeks. And
You excited? You getting the juices flowing?
The opposite. This time, I always I was really excited, and this week I'm just kind of like, fuck, why do I do this? You know, everything's kind of like I'm grinding. I got to step it. Like, this is the week how I run my kind of personal little thing. This is really going to be the hardest week, and then next week is kind of like moderate and so, you know what I mean, like fading down. So it's just like I'm not excited because I know how hard this week's going to be. It already is.
Is it weird that like we're like I feel like we're so close to Halloween, but we're so far away from Cage Wars? Like, it's just a weird feeling. Like, next week I'll start to feel, you know, the pressure that Al and I have to go through, making sure everyone's got their medicals, make sure everyone has, you know, tape, ice, the whole 9 yards. It gets stressful on our end.
Yeah, it's got to be so hard to I totally get that, because it's got to be so hard to buy a bag of ice, you know. So I mean, like, you guys, you have to worry about that. I mean, we're fighting somebody in fucking cage or underwear. Don't worry about that kind of pressure. You guys got to buy ice. I mean, it's fucking crazy.
Ice. Listen, first of all, getting you through weight cuts, we don't even talk about that. That's stressful in itself, motherfucker. Because most fighters actually cut weight properly. They don't eat blue tortilla chips and mayonnaise at 3:00 in the morning, or Hayden Speckgard drinking beer and pretzels the night before. I have the world's worst cutting weight team in the history of cutting weight.
The bad news bears are fighting. We don't really.
Al's the old coach with the beer and the cigarette.
Yeah. Remember? Actually, it's true, because remember, one of our first Cage Wars is he got yelled at for having a beer in the back.
Dude, he brought back a scotch.
A scotch.
Al was going hard in the paint.
Yeah, dude. They're like, yeah, you can't have that back here. But
oh man.
But things are good. I'm excited for tonight's guest. The last time I saw Darnell, he was fucking punching me in the face. So
let's cut right to it, guys, because I don't know how
it's late.
Got a late. Hold on a second. We got 3 comments.
Look at my eye, dude. Not that one.
I like how Corey Butts wants ice cream. Yeah, he eats ice cream before he cuts weights too. Corey.
Yes, exactly. That was bad. Yeah, that was. There we go. What up, the champ?
How we doing?
Good. How you guys doing?
We are doing well.
Thank you for coming on.
Yeah, sorry about the lateness. My daughter had basketball, and the volleyball team wouldn't get out of the gym ahead of time, so we were 20 minutes late into it. So let's get right into it. But how you guys doing tonight? Where are you guys from? Where's the actual location of your gym?
We're right between Rochester and Syracuse. We're in a small town. Literally, my gym is the only business on this main strip. It's North Coast, and we're 55 minutes from Syracuse, 55 minutes from Rochester, right in the middle of nowhere.
Wow, you hit the lottery sitting next to that guy, because that's friggin' lightning. Oh my god, that's awesome.
Yeah, we have a hard time finding him training partners, because we have Amish people, Mennonite people living here, cows and chicken, and literally 2,000 people living in my small town. 2,000.
Are you saying Jebediah doesn't want to come in and spar with
exactly.
No.
Go figure on that one.
That's my man's sparring horses now. That's why he's so fucking tough. He's fucking fighting horses. That's all he gets. Well, I offered to come up, and then he's like, "Oh, he told me where it was." I'm like, "For 3 hours, bro. I don't know if I got that in me. I gotta drive home after that." I'm like, "That guy's gonna fuck me up, and I gotta drive it by myself. It's gonna be a long ride."
Start driving home, think about life choices.
Yeah, why did I just drive up here? I know it was gonna happen. Like, I mean, that's. But
Oh man, that's great. So Monk, how long have you been in business for?
Well, not really business. So about 5 years ago, I went all in and ran my MMA gym, and I was so happy about 5 years ago. But I've been training and coaching now I've been coaching now for 18 years and been training for over
Wow.
30.
And what's your martial art background?
So at 21, I started Muay Thai. At 27, Judo. 28, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Around 29, full contact knockdown karate. And I have 5 black belts. And in 2004, I moved here, and there were in this small town, and it was hard for me to drive to Rochester and Syracuse to train. Plus, I didn't really like some of the vibe of the MMA gyms. I was already in my own journey, 10 years into it. So I started doing my own thing about 18 years ago when I moved here from Toronto.
Nice.
that's been so. Last we spoke, so like last I saw Darnell, I was just saying he just beat the fuck out of me, and then last I spoke to you, Mang, we actually had you're one of my favorite people, most interesting people I've spoke to. We have our own little like side podcast that we started, and we got to pick that up again because that was super fun. It was really interesting. And what I take away from you, and like why I'm partly really excited to have you on is because like you have such an interesting and unique and advanced take on martial arts, and I love it. And it was like just talking to you and like how you analyze fights and just your strategy and philosophy of things. I'm like, wow, this guy's a fucking gem. Like, sorry to keep swearing. I'm trying not to swear as much, but just it was amazing. It was just like a very unique approach, and you had some really stuff that stuck with me. Like I forget, I'm gonna butcher it, but like the confirmation, like the confirmation bias that was a false positive type thing, and I'm like, man, that stuff rings so true. And just the way you scouted things and how you explained how you scouted me and like you changed things last minute and it worked to a T. And it drew me into a fight that I adamantly did not want to be in, and it worked, you know? And yeah, which is awesome. So I mean, and obviously the guy sitting next to you, I mean, he has I think 4 belts now.
He has 5.
Yeah.
Five title belt or 4? 5? You lost track. 5, right? You got 5.
Four.
Yeah, that's crazy,
Yes,
man.
Yeah. This November will be his second year with me. He did his first fight 3 months in.
Yeah.
And can I jump in and backtrack to your fight? So we watched your fight, right? And there was like signs that showed that you were kind of scared about getting hit. And we knew you were a purple belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. And so we were a little bit concerned about getting caught with triangles and arm bars and stuff. So we executed a plan where we tried to like barrage you and pressure you. And shout out to the commentators. They were dead on about Darnell's analysis about 50-50, how Darnell would throw the overhand to enter to 50-50 to clinch. But then for that fight, we just completely switched it up because we knew that's what you were seeing. But we also saw that your body language expressed it a way that was not comfortable getting hit.
100%.
Yeah, and so what I do when I watch for fights, I look for these little telltale signs, and then we exploit it. So,
well, that's to add to that. I trained 100% for 50-50 grappling and to exit that exchange with like a kind of a shoulder bump, overhand, and like and everything. And then it just didn't really happen a couple times, but it was definitely a different fighter. Plus, I want to comment. Me and Nels have talked about it ad nauseum. You're fucking the evolution from that last fight that we had tape of until how you came into my fight. I'm like, well, that was a completely different fighter. And then seeing your next fight, same thing against, I think it was Cedric, I think was your next fight.
Ortiz,
Ortiz. And he's a really game fighter, man. He's a big guy too, like long. And it's just impressive. I mean, you guys have a great synergy together, and it's awesome. I mean, like.
Did you watch the fight with Peter where Darnell scored like a TKO? That you should watch that one. That was his best.
Was that the last fight?
Yeah, that was the last fight.
It was a white guy, right?
Yep.
I think I saw that. Is that coming to my? I got rocked like 18 times tonight. So
I think we watched it at the gym the other night, Richie. Yeah. When we were talking about Darnell, someone showed us that knockout.
I think.
Yeah. I mean, Darnell hit Peter, and I think he was on the opposite side of the cage. But when you watch the video, Peter actually went out. Woke back up, and Darnell knocked him out again. And after the fight, we shook hands, and Peter had like a huge cut, like a cut on the corner, where the usually cut happens. And it was the size of a dime, like the width of a dime, and the length of a quarter, right? And so those punches, and he was in sync. Like Darnell was completely in sync with the movement, and that's something on, so the evolution of Darnell is more than just technique, but how his body feels the movement.
Mhm.
Like, anyways, you watch for that. That's what I look for, is the evolution
Yeah.
of.
Yeah, I think going into that fight too, we fought Paul LaFond, who is now on my team, and been training. And I think Paul had a little bit of what Rich had in terms of, it was Paul's second fight, Rich's first fight. Rich got hit a few times, but nothing really to the upper extremity, like a humongous leg kick to the leg. And then the second one, he got hit with a barrage of attempted punches by Jeff Gregory, who we're gonna fight again this card. His mistake was clinching with us. And so when we fought you, Jose, and
Kenny,
we were not. Richie and I were Richie was living in Georgia, and I lived up here, obviously. So we kept in contact. I kept the tabs on his training and stuff like that. But like, one of the things I always worked with him, and we worked a lot. This one is instead of backing up or whatever, embrace the clinch. You know what I mean? He is a multiple time gold medal winning purple belt. Like, it's not just a practice room purple belt. Like, he's won Nagas, he's won, big tournaments. Not that Naga's a big tournament. I'm just saying, like, he's won. But I mean, he did the Hickson Cup as a white belt, and then on up to Grappling Industries, Nagas, the whole.
The biggest problem with Darnell, is like, it came fast. And
it came way faster than you look at. Like, Kenny's came fast, but like Darnell's was, like I said, I think we were expecting a far less experienced fighter from the fight before into this fight. We were like, whoa, that's a different animal right there.
Yeah, I spent so much time fucking bobbing and weaving trying to avoid. I couldn't set up anything myself, and that was a really great tactic.
Got me really, really good. Like, we had like a really nice exchange. I don't know if you remember, like, I was trying to throw the right hand, and like, you nailed me like right here in the lip.
You told me that after the fight, you're like, bro, I was seeing the stars for a second, and I'm like, well, I'm fucking good. At least I did something right, because I was fucking running in circles. Like, I was trying to.
Dude, you're a warrior. It was an honor sharing the cage with you. It was fun.
Likewise, man. That was one of my favorite fights, and I thank you so much. I appreciate that, because I had a lot of fun. I felt like, I really had fun with it, and so thank you. And it's cool to see you fucking. I mean, hey, listen, man, I'm doing this I love it, and I love seeing I love it because it's a fun hobby for me. I'm never gonna go anywhere with it. Watching you achieve your dreams and getting closer and closer to that is like, that's such a privilege, because I know how hard you train. I know how hard Mon works with you, and like, it's cool to see it, So, and you're a good dude, man. You and your family are really nice afterwards. So that was, it was a pleasure.
It's an honor, man. Seriously, thank you.
Thank you.
Darnell,
how do you feel about this fight?
Oh, go ahead.
I'm sorry. No, you can go, man. How do you feel about this fight? I mean, it's like 2.5 weeks out.
I feel really confident. I feel extremely excited. We've been developing a very, very disciplined game plan. And, come fight time, it's going to be very exciting to go out there and execute it. I always try to step it up from each previous performance. Him and I work, balls to the wall to kind of elevate our game. So it's extremely exciting. We're going against an extremely tough guy from Oh yeah. So it's going to be a good show, man. I know he's going to push me. He's going to come right at me, and we're just extremely excited to see what we can do and execute our strategy.
That's awesome. You got some PR lessons too. That was a very politically neutral commentary. That was awesome.
Thank you.
One of his teammates is a good guy, Corey Butts. He's awesome. They have a really good gym, talented squad out there. So it's gonna be fun.
I agree.
Yeah, I mean, I'm familiar with their gym, because they're like 2 hours from us, but they fight for Gladius and full contact. So I trained a few of their guys before, so I'm familiar with the way they operate and stuff. They have a bigger gym and stuff. So for me, I'm always nervous. I don't have enough training partners for Darnell, But
if you come down, I mean, like, I know it's a trip, but like, we have a bunch of guys, man, and like you said, we have purple belts. Like you requested, I told you, feel free. You know what I mean? Like, if you guys can make that trip, that'd be awesome.
So definitely after the video, I want to get in touch with you guys about coming down one time because
Yeah.
there's things I want him to work on, and I'm like, I'm 51, I'm just too small for him, and I'm just kind of like I'm more of a observer. Like I like to sit back and just think, and it's
Yeah.
hard to do that when you're physically in the game and getting beat up.
Mhm. Yeah, we love to, like I said, like I mean, I can throw my body at him, and it'll help me too, and it'd be nice to just see you guys. And we have a bunch of other guys who would love to. I mean, the 4-time champion, it'd be a privilege, and into your mind and stuff too, Mong. Like it'd be cool to have you guys down and just pick your brain.
I also identify as a 185er, so we're good there. We're okay.
Absolutely.
So Darnell, what was your so Mung said that you were with him for 2 years. What were you doing beforehand? What was your background before?
How old are you, Darnell? You're 27, 28? 26. Okay, cool.
Damn, I'm old.
I know, right? I feel the same way. I'm 42 now.
What? Well, I'm almost be this dude's dad.
Yeah. So what? So yeah, sorry to come back. I just wanted to see like your age. So like you've been this 2 years. What exactly? So like give people an idea of what you're doing before.
So prior to meeting Sensei Fu, I wrestled in middle school, high school, and college. Once my senior year of college came along, it was the same year as COVID. It was a bit of a hard time for everybody, but my family and I experienced a lot of losses. I was always partying. I should have been focused more on school and wrestling, but once I experienced several losses in my family, it changed everything about me. Like I just started slowly getting into boxing, eventually kickboxing, and I just had this fire in me. I don't know where it came from. Like I was in a lot of pain, and I just sought out ways to get mentally stronger, emotionally stronger, just everything. And then eventually I found a Taekwondo gym where I'm from in Geneva, New York. I ended up training there for a little bit. I learned a little bit about kicks. My kicks were shit because I never kicked them. Then eventually I learned, I practiced. I got a little bit better. I had my first fight under that gym. The fight didn't go the way I wanted because I was completely unprepared, and it humbled me. And I realized, like, you know what? I have a lot of work to do. There's a lot of things I need to improve on. I need to find more experienced coaches to help me out. Eventually, I met Sensei Fu here, and we've been together ever since in 2021.
I just want to shout out to Geneva boxing team. Coach Hill and I have been working together for maybe 14, 15 years now. There's a professional boxing team called Geneva Boxing Team, and they're out in Geneva, which is about 35 minutes from here. If you watch the reality TV show Extreme Makeover, they actually came into town and redid his house. Coach was a very giving guy. Started a nonprofit boxing gym to help all the kids in that town. And Extreme Makeover came and rebuilt his gym, gave him a new gym, new house, everything.
Wow, that's crazy.
In the past, I would send my fighters down to get extra sparring because I just didn't have enough people. And Tim helped my fighters in the past, helped me train in the past. And that's how I got to know Darnell, because Tim called me up and say, hey, I want you to take this guy under his wing. And I respect him a lot. So whatever Tim asked me to look at someone or help someone, I said, no problem, no question asked. And so that's how we met Darnell. He came into my gym 2 years ago when Tim called me up and told me to check this guy out.
Man, what a great pairing you guys are. Real quick shout out to the former champ, L. What's going on, buddy?
Yeah, Big L.
And for some reason, Corey Butts thinks you guys might be ready for a remake of Rush Hour with Chris Rock and Jackie Chan. I don't know.
Yeah.
So, Corey Butts, you're an odd duck, my friend.
Oh my
God. But
a nice reboot.
I saw it in the thing. I'm like, what? So, man, we've talked about this a lot on this podcast about the importance of fighter coach relationships. Like from day one, Richie and I connected on a level that I think takes a lot of time normally. But as soon as he walked in the gym and he did jiu-jitsu, I'm like, oh, this guy and I think almost alike. And to a point where sometimes Richie will pause in the middle of a jiu-jitsu match look over and we'll have a conversation before he carries on with the match. So he's done it many times. Drives me nuts. But how long until you guys like were like, yo, this is my man? I'm never gonna go anyplace else.
I would say probably around maybe between the third or fifth fight around there. Because so my first fight with him, I can't get it out of my head. So he said once, the first time I ever fought for him, he said once the cage door shut on me, I turned into a completely different person. Like I didn't do anything he said. But actually, it wasn't until my second fight. Actually, my second fight with him, we fought a guy that could bench 400 pounds. This guy the dude was a fucking monster. Excuse my
Who was it?
You can swear, bro. You can swear.
Shit.
Yeah, his name was James Coleman. He was by far the strongest dude I ever encountered. He fought in the streets in Rochester. Dude was a monster.
Yeah, look him up. He has videos of him fighting in the street in Rochester.
Yeah, dude was tough. He told me like, listen, relax, calm down. We worked out a very specific game plan for him. The entire time, like we took him down. I literally was like listening to him, giving me instructions in the cage, and I executed everything we drilled. And that was absolutely the first time we had that cohesion as coach and fighter.
Well, check this out. 6 months into his fight, 6 months into training, second MMA fight, he does a spinning arm bar from cross side position. So from cross side, the guy goes into him. It's like a white belt move, right? The guy will get an underhook, goes into him. He steps over into an arm bar.
I remember seeing that.
Especially in the MMA setting.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And so I knew that I had a potential here. I'm very cerebral. And so what happened is sometimes the fighters I train, I wouldn't say I can't train them. It's just that I'm very cerebral and I build them. The way I build them is very long term, but if they understand it, they're going to have an amazing fighting career and they can be world champ. And not everyone understands the way I approach things. And that was my biggest concern was like, does he understand my cerebral approach to training and my methodological approach?
So Sensei, how many other fighters do you have?
If you look up a guy, his name is Evander Russ. He fought Kevin Nystrom in Glory. He fought Kevin, not in Glory, but he fought him. Evander fought Sean Felton, who's a pro fighter. He fought many guys who became pro. Evander Russ won 4 belts for me. He fought for me 16 times. I don't have a lot of fighters. I think I trained a total of maybe 12 fighters. And Evander and Darnell have been so far 2 that has been winning belts for me. But I live in the middle of nowhere too, right?
Yeah. No, I get that. So my question was going to be like, how do you like? So for me, I have a certain style, right? My jiu-jitsu is very pressure based. I'm a big dude. I teach a lot about not taking space and creating space. That's a lot. Almost all my lessons involve some sort of compression, taking space or creating space. Some of my guys are just not a good fit for me, right? They have a different game, whatever. There's guys like Richie and Luis Melendez who like 2 peas in a pod, like we're whatever. How do you deal with having a fighter who comes in that maybe does not fit your mold or your general vision of MMA? How do you get around that?
So can I break the answer to 2 parts?
Sure, go ahead.
I don't know everything, and what I don't know. That's my phone. Let me decline this really quick. Sorry.
It's all right. We're not known for we don't get enemies here for our production value.
And I'm like half asleep. I'm laying in bed. So, I mean, this isn't really the most formal freaking podcast, dude. If you notice, as this goes on, I slink more and more down to like, and then you're going to see me with my stuffed animal frog. I'll be sleeping pretty soon, man.
So I have to tell myself that I don't know everything and I'm not everyone's cup of tea. My approach is very different. My approach is, I think I finally kind of solidified my approach. I call it the neurofeedback loop, where I try to understand how their mind works under stress and where what their go-to reaction is, and then I work out of that. So I don't teach techniques. Techniques is like marketing. It's like I went to art school, so there's function and there's form, right? You want to deal with form first. You want to deal with function first, which is like the bottle. Then you put on the color of the bottle, like the type of colors, the type of labels, right? The labels and colors are important to the aesthetic value, but it doesn't serve the function of the bottle. And so I have to constantly gauge that. Like, you know what I mean? Like, do I care what kind of kick it is versus how does he execute that kick on the day of the fight?
Right.
Because you may teach it, but his mind may not execute it, right? And just really quick, I discovered a phrase about a year ago. His name is Dr. Gupta. If you have a chance, check him out. He's a performance coach. People pay him $10,000 an hour to train with him. And he talks about access versus acquiring. So a lot of coaches teach people how to acquire the technique, how to do an arm bar, how to do a roundhouse kick, but not how to access it, how to do it on the day of the fight.
Yeah.
You see that in self-defense. You see that in CQC, close quarter combat. You see that in shooting. You see that in the army. People are always teaching acquiring, but not accessing. So with Darnell, I'm constantly pushing, juggling between accessing and acquiring. In each fight, he's acquiring more move, but I also have to make sure that he knows how to access it on the day of the fight.
Yeah, you know what? Real quick, I don't mean to interrupt you, but like,
I love that so much. You told me for too, and I think that's one of the greatest things people need. That's amazing.
So that I say that all the time to my. I'm nowhere near as book smart as you are because that's a lot of big words. But like I say all the time for we have a bunch of schools in the Capital District here who don't compete. I'm sorry if I'm teaching you jujitsu and you're only doing it here in a matted, safe environment. There's no stress. There's nothing because I'm training with Richie. I've known Richie for 5-6 years now. If he taps me, no problem. If I tap him, no problem. You know what I mean? I don't learn anything from the experience. I tell my guys, just compete just once. If you don't like it, you never have to do it again. But you at least know before you start spouting off in a bar whether you're about that shit or you're not about that shit. So, you know what I mean? Like Richie, like I know like his flaws, whatever. I know this kid's about it though. Like at like a drop of a hat, I know if a fight breaks out, Richie's got my back. You know what I mean? If you never compete, and I'm not saying compete is the same as fighting, right? I'm not gonna sit here and say jiu-jitsu is the same as MMA fighting or boxing, whatever. It's two different fucking sports. I call it a fight. Some people hate that. I don't care. But your stress level goes up and you learn whether or not you can operate inside that stress level or you just go like we all seen super talented fighters who are in the gym and they're killers and they go out into the cage and they fold like a cheap carpet. So continue on. I'm sorry, but I just love what you said about that. That
go with that too. And it's funny because I learned that the organic way, but I never had labels for it. When I first went my first tournament, I'm like, I'm gonna fucking be so flowy and do gogoplatas and fucking all this shit. When I get in there, I'm like, oh, I'm just trying to kill you. And we're fucking like, I'm coming through your fucking.
I'm gonna try and put you through the earth.
Like because I'm like, oh fuck, this is crazy. There's so much shit going on. I'm like, this fucking is just nuts. I'm like, same with MMA. It's like, with MMA, I'm like, I just gotta keep it simple because I'm not going to access anything super fancy, like to use your word. But I learned that with the jiu-jitsu thing where I'm like, oh, I was practicing all the wrong shit. Like I'm just sticking to basics and control and pressure because that's the important stuff. Like if I can do something fancy, like you said, like people, and it's kind of a white belt. You want to get better quick, so you start YouTubing shit. You start the flying dragon, fucking armbar, cross, crucifix. Oh, I'm gonna use that. It's like, yeah, that could work in a super situational environment, but that ain't gonna work when somebody's trying to kill you. It's a situational thing, and I hate that. I think it's so bad for the sport and just for people's mindset of self-defense. Anyway, so I'm sorry, I'm gonna detract from you. Please.
Continue with your thoughts.
Sorry.
Oh, continue what I just talking or something else?
Yeah,
you were talking. Yeah, you talking.
You said you're gonna break it in two parts.
People here to see you.
I think the fact
ramble all day.
I think the fact that when I started martial art, I was only 118 pounds. When I was 21, I was 118 pounds. I got knocked out so many times in Muay Thai class. And then when I started doing judo, I was like 135 pounds. At 27, I got thrown so many times. And so
118 pounds. How tall? You're like 5'7"?
5'4".
5'4". Okay, 117 pounds. Still, man. You're like probably 150 right now, right?
I'm out of shape. 160.
Oh, you look out of shape, but you look thick. Yeah, okay. And now you're around 48, I think.
51.
51. Okay, you look great. Okay, cool. Oh, we want to talk about something else about your first. You competed actually like 45, right? It was something we talked about that before.
The last time I fought against a top ranked.
Yeah.
I think he was ranked 8 in New York State as an amateur MMA fighter, and I got my arm broken. It was for a title belt, and it was not bad. Unfortunately, I went. I opened my gym full time. I didn't really have a lot of training partner. When you're coaching all the time,
Yeah.
you know how I didn't have anyone to train me, and in my second round, I got my arm broken. He threw a roundhouse kick. I blocked it. I have my nice guard up, but I think due to muscle mass, when you're 45, the guy's 37. The weight, it was a 20 pounds difference. I weighed in at I weighed in at 170 that night, and they made an exception, because it was for the old people.
Yeah.
And
well, the reason I brought that up was just because to tell like Nell said, you're about it. You don't just coach. Like Nels competes, you compete. Like that's super important. So when you tell Darnell this, it's from experience. Like you've been in this similar situation.
Like 6 times, like 6 judo.
Yeah.
3 kickboxing fight, 3 full contact karate fight, maybe 6 judo match, 1 BJJ match. I'm blind in one eye and I'm nearsighted, so it's very hard for me to find fights. A lot of places won't let me fight because I'm blind in one eye. Right. Plus, I started the sport at a very, back in 1990s where MMA wasn't even legal, was very hard to find a fight. My first kickboxing fight was supposed to be Muay Thai. At the last minute, my opponent didn't want to fight Muay Thai because he came from a kickboxing school. So we had to switch to North American kickboxing style, which is kicking above the waist, 8 kick per round. So that's to let you know how far I go back.
Those rules bring me back to when I first started refereeing. And I'm just like, how am I going to keep track of all these? Like, you're only supposed to kick 6 times in a round, and you can only throw like 3. It was so stupid. Now it's so much easier. Either you're kickboxing, clinch, 1 strike, let go, or Muay Thai, I can clinch all day long. I just can't throw elbows unless it's padded and advanced rules. Boom.
But
done.
Even the Glory K1 rules, those are new things. Like when I first started, they didn't divide between Glory, K1. I mean, when I started, K1 was the only thing. There was no such thing as Glory. So it was either Muay Thai, or Muay Thai. So
what's your preference in terms of if you had a fighting style with striking, K1, Glory, or Muay Thai rules?
I don't care about the sports. I care about the development of the athlete. So I feel Muay Thai is the best because it taps into everything. It taps into clinch work. It taps into plum, body control, neck control, underhooks. It taps into sweep. So if you understand Muay Thai, you understand Greco. If you understand Muay Thai, you understand how to pummel. And so it's like a middle ground to MMA. If you just do kickboxing, it's hard to bridge that gap.
Yeah. So when I've gotten more into it now, we have some new instructors and stuff like that. So, and I've been refereeing a lot more Muay Thai and K1 or kickboxing fights. And I don't know if it bothers you. It bothers me when I look at somebody and they're saying they do Muay Thai and it's kickboxing. You know what I mean? There's a really distinct difference. I never knew it. Ed Kinner, I don't know if Ed Kinner's watching, president of USMTA. He used to be a Muay Thai guy, and I used to send all my clips to him, like, "Yo, is this guy legit or is he full of shit?" And he's like, "Yeah, he's full of shit. It's kickboxing." So, it's funny how we've evolved.
I just want to jump in really quick. A lot of gyms say they teach Muay Thai. They don't. I'm very lucky. If you have a chance, check out Ajahn Suchart. He's having a seminar this weekend. He's bringing 3 Muay Thai legends from Thailand. Unfortunately, I can't make it, but Ajahn Suchart is the guy who trained Simon Marcus. Simon Marcus won Glory, a heavyweight championship. That's who I started with back in 1993. And so I was very lucky. I trained with someone who had over 160 fights in Thailand, and he came to America. And he's considered the father of Muay Thai in Canada, right? And so there's a certain feel to Muay Thai. And unfortunately, a lot of MMA gym or even kickboxing gym, they say they teach Muay Thai, but they don't. And now it's getting better because of Facebook Live. You can log onto Facebook Live and watch these Facebook videos of Muay Thai guys training in Thailand, and you get to see how they train.
Yeah, I have a very good friend of mine, Walter Johnson, who he is a black belt in jiu-jitsu, and I'm not even going to attempt to say his rank in Muay Thai because I don't understand all of it, but he is fairly high up. He makes 2 or 3 trips to Thailand every year to train with his teacher and stuff like that. And I see clips on his page with him and his Thai instructors, man. It's really cool shit. I wish I had more time. I wish I was younger. It's really hard in the body when you're out of shape and you're out there cracking pads and so. But that's awesome, man. That's really cool. Darnell, who is I saw your opponent. Where is he from? Do you know?
He's from Elmira, around the Elmira area, so it's 2 hours
Okay.
south.
Corey's in the chat. Corey, what's your gym name again? If you could type that, and we'll
Is that his teammate, Joe Crowley?
Yeah.
Oh, I know that.
Yeah. Darnell, so like, what got you into fighting? Did you fight as like just kind of fuck around as a kid, not as a kid, but teenager, kid, whatever? And then, or did you like the sport, and then you're just like, I mean, because obviously you're naturally good at it and you wrestled, but like, what made you choose that? And I know you kind of went through the Apex Combat Sports. I know you said with the family stuff. That's unfortunate. I extend my sympathy.
Yeah,
that's horrible.
You're too young to be losing that many family.
Yeah, but I'm glad you found a positive outlet. Like, it's kind of, I always say, I'm still going through some fucked up stuff, and I just went through it. But I'm like, the universe gives you what you want, not what you need. Or it gives you what you need, not what you want. And it's just like, you got to roll with that and make the best of it. And there's a plan kind of thing, or something. So you're doing it, and it's like, but what if boil down the question, what got you into fighting? Did you fight when you're younger and kind of like, I'm pretty good at this, or what made you what made this your chosen passion?
So when I growing up, so my father got deported when I was 4 years old. So I was raised by my mother and my older brother. My older brother was 10 years older than me. So by the time I was 6, 7 years old, he was a full-blown teenager. And they showed me a lot of tough love. They toughened me up at a young age. I took a lot of beatings when I was younger and stuff. I grew up with a lot of anger issues. I didn't exactly understand why until recent times when I worked on myself, I developed myself, and I realized that I had God blessed me with the athletic ability to be an athlete, perform at a high level, but I was exposed to violence at a very young age. So now that I'm older, I can tap into it when necessary. So I guess it just naturally happened over time in a positive way. And I'm very grateful it happened in this very positive way because there was times, when I was in college and, my anger got the best of me and I almost threw away my life. And fighting, I'm not gonna lie, it saved my life. It made me into a better human being, and for that, I'm always gonna be grateful for this journey. For the
martial arts has that ability to do that, man. It really is. Your father still around?
So he lives in Jamaica. He got deported when I was 4 years old. So
do you have a relationship with him?
Yes, I talk to him as much as I can. So every couple of weeks, month or so. I just haven't seen him since I was 4.
Yeah. Okay. That's cool. You developed that relationship, man. Like, I lost my dad early on, and a kind of similar story. I don't get into, it's not my show, but
my condolences.
But say again?
My condolences.
Oh, thank you, my friend. Thank you very much. But a similar story. I had a very violent childhood, all that stuff, and so like this just felt natural to me. And I remember my first jiu-jitsu tournament. I remember I'm like, wow, I'm beating somebody up and people are fucking cheering. Like, this is insane. Like, what a good future. I'm getting yelled at. I'm getting arrested. I'm like, this is a positive thing. Like, this is amazing. And it changed my whole outlook on it, where it's like you said, like, this is just, I mean, I'm like, I have a shirt that says I'm comfortable with violence. And it's just like, yeah, I just am. I've always have been. Like, it doesn't faze me in the sense of like, some people get really like, you know how it is. Like, it's just, it doesn't even register in my fucking radar that it's weird. It's like, this is just part of life, and that's awesome, man. I'm so glad to see this as a positive thing, and like, continue to be a positive thing. It's like, for both you guys, I think together, it's probably, it brings a lot to both your life. And Mong, I know you have a super busy schedule. between work and side hustles and stuff. I know you sell books online, so you could plug that too before we are done, so people buy books from you. I know it's and to run this gym, man, it's a lot. It's
Yeah.
Nels
So-
goes,
So
it's
right
like
now I run a small town, and literally I'm losing. I mean, before COVID, I was so happy. I finally made it. I was able to support my family running my gym full time in a small town, teach 20 hours a week, and made like really good money. And then when COVID came, I kind of pivot and I brought in 12,000 books into my gym, and now I'm stuck with like 8,000 of them. Like, so I'm having,
What's
and
the book?
I'm tired all the time. And
What's
plus
the
I work
book?
What?
Is it multiple books or is it just one book that you have 8,000 copies
you
of?
think he bought fucking 12,000 copies of one book, bro?
No,
Like,
If it's the Bible, it'd work out.
Yeah.
nobody buys the Bible. You give free Bibles.
Yeah, no, I have like all sorts of. Anyways, so I do this like if Darnell wasn't around, I probably would have shut down the gym or teach out of different MMA gym or kickboxing gym.
Right.
But I find the MMA community kind of like it's weird. On one hand, we're very friendly. On the other hand, we're kind of standoffish. You know what I mean? And especially if you're not part of any clique, because
Yeah.
I'm in the middle of nowhere, and the way I approach MMA is kind of different. And so I reached out to a lot of MMA gyms saying, hey, do you, if you're a BJJ gym, I'll say, hey, do you need a judo? Like I'm second degree in judo, right? And I'm like putting advanced Muay Thai. So my approach to fighting is very different. I say, hey,
Sure.
do you need someone to kind of like teach for you in exchange for free jiu-jitsu training or vice versa? I might go to a kickboxing gym and say, do you need an MMA instructor? But I have Darnell training with me, so it's like every so often I feel like shutting down my gym, and then somebody comes along and makes me keep on going. You know what I mean? And so my goal now is to get my gym reopened so that I can do this full time again, because I'm getting burnt out, cleaning all night, and
Yeah.
I'm not utilizing my talent and my skill.
It's tough. It really is tough to balance. I mean, I got kids. I have a full-time job, so it's like sometimes like people are just like, "Hey, where are you?" I'm like, "Listen, I'm at a basketball game," or "Hey, I'm stuck at work," or it's just the way it is. But I'm really lucky. I got a lot of awesome teachers that help me out. With
Don't mention it, bro. Don't mention it.
the striking, my business partner Alan. All those guys are the best. Like guys who don't get the real shine put on them, like like Hakeem and Chuck and all
Hakeem,
those guys.
man. Yeah, all those guys. Chuck.
Yeah. Darnell, I got a quick question. Have you looked at the Tapology page for this Cage Wars?
I have not. No.
We can look
Okay,
at it.
I want to get your quick feeling on this. Now, this is not the official order of fights, but it's your fight versus Joe Crowley, Erica Valentine versus Paige Wilcock next, and then this guy, this curtain jerker, Rich Perillo versus Jeff Gregory ahead of your fight. How does this Cage Wars has to answer for this?
I won't be above him because I'm out of title.
I know, but that's what it says on.
Bro, well, listen. When Daddy comes to fucking town, they know. Fucking put that. When Daddy comes to town, they know it's a special event. I don't got too many
Listen, buddy. I'm just saying that. Listen, if I'm you, Darnell, I start asking some questions. That's all I'm saying to you. Like,
Oh, no, it's fine, dude.
I think it's because we don't sell tickets like the way.
listen, buddy. What you guys can be listed under us, and all of a sudden you advance up the card. Hey,
please come down too.
What's it feel like, Darnell, to be the boogeyman of this division, man? Like I talked to obviously Rich, right? I talked to Cedric Ortiz.
So we have a funny story about this.
Go ahead.
Okay. Do you remember it?
Yeah.
We were outside. Cedric just won, I think, the USMTA
185 title.
So we're standing and we're fucking talking. He's a great guy. What a fucking cool guy Cedric is, man.
Absolutely.
Love him. And we're talking, and fucking Nels points up to your poster that's hanging in the casino. I don't know if you've seen it. You have your poster hanging in the casino, big, huge banner. And he goes, "Oh, you're gonna go after that guy?" And he goes, and Cedric goes, he had a top hat on. He's like, "Hell no." He's like, "That dude can keep that fucking belt." He's like, "I ain't go." No. He's like,
I'm gonna let that title sit for a bit.
Yeah, he's like, "I'm gonna let that dude fucking have that title." He's like, "We know how that works out." And I'm like, "Fuck yeah, dude."
How does that feel, man? Like it must be hard to get fights. Like you are, like you said, you beating people. Richie's
you're
Richie's
number
a tough
one.
kid. I don't care how much you beat him, but he's a tough kid. Cedric's a tough motherfucker. He can grapple his ass off. Like, do you have trouble finding fights?
Sometimes we do, but at the end of the day, I just want to add that I am 100% completely honored to even have the opportunity to go out there and perform, to share the
Right.
cage with, people like Rich, people like Cedric, every person, I shared the cage with. Like I love Rich as a human being. Like I
Thank you,
raised
man.
his hand, I gave him a hug. Same with Cedric. Like every time I talk to Cedric Ortiz, I always give him, I always have positive talks with him. And at the end of the day, to hear people say, I don't pay too much attention to the rankings and stuff because I'm
Yeah.
focused on just trying to elevate myself. But to hear that, to hear all you guys say all these positive things, it absolutely means the freaking world to me. And I'm just grateful for this experience, dude. I really am.
Can I jump in really quick?
Go ahead.
So when he first started, people saw how tough he was, and people offered him fights way too early, just so that they can hype up their hometown fighter, right? So he got offered title belt fights against guys that I knew there was a skill discrepancy, so I had to turn those things down. And he got offered fights against guys who are like NCAA wrestling champ, like a Division I wrestler, purple belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and trains full time, and is a wrestling coach. Okay, and that guy fought 3 times. Now he's a pro fighter. And right off the bat, like 3 fights in, he got offered that. He got offered fights to fight full contact Muay Thai. And so already I kind of knew that these promoters were trying to hype up the guy and saw like here's a big, muscular, strong guy who can like on poster it looks scary, but there was a
Yeah.
huge discrepancy. So as a coach, I'm constantly engaging for that. You know what I mean? And I was watching your last podcast. You were referring to RJ. RJ, great guy. He came and trained with me for almost 3 months. He wanted to fight under my gym, and I said, no, you can't do that. You have to lose like tons of weight. I want to see this. There was a
Yeah.
list of stuff I wanted to see, and he never fought for me because there was certain things I wanted to see. And
Yeah.
I just want to jump in really quick. Unfortunately, when I started training guys to fight almost 13 years ago, we had to drive to New Jersey, Pennsylvania, Connecticut
Yep.
to fight. MMA wasn't legal yet, and I think there was more scrutiny. Now there's sometimes there's mismatch, and I don't want to sound mean, but there are promoters out there who will take advantage of that, and they will literally fly a guy in from out of town to hype up the hometown guy
Yeah.
because the hometown guy is selling thousands and thousands of dollars of tickets, and there are so many amateur fighters who are falling for that.
Yes.
Nell says that to people. He says, if the offer's too good to be true to go down and fight in Miami, Florida, you're being fed to a lion.
You're bait.
Like, it's like you're not going down there. And listen, there's exceptions to every rule, but for the most part, if they're willing to fucking ship you across the country, that means there's nobody closer that will take this fight.
Yeah.
And
we get it all the time, like a 1-on-1 fighder, right? And they'll be like, "Oh, we have a title fight," and they're like, "Well, who's the guy?" He's like 9-0 or whatever. And it's just like, bro, I know exactly. It's your hometown school, and you want us to come down. Like
I get those offers
me a
still.
lot for that.
I get those offers still because I'm I'm like fucking stupid. Like I'm not dumb. I'm not going to Pennsylvania. You get fucked up in some high school gym. Like, no, dude. If I'm getting beat up, I'm gonna get a nice hotel room at the Rivers, and where all of my fucking friends and family are. Beat me up in front of them. I'm gonna go drink afterwards, like, and go back to what I'm saying, like,
yeah,
whatever. I'm not stupid.
Yeah, Sensei, I'm really happy you said that, man. That's really, man, like it's tough to go. It makes you, not scared, but it makes you like question almost every single time someone looks for a specific fighter that doesn't really click.
And that's why I like
is that fighter asking for him?
You know what's crazy now?
Tim's good about that.
Less people reaching out to Darnell. 3 fights ago, so many promoters reached out to Darnell, right? Because they saw this, strong, muscular guy, ready to, it looks great on the poster, but now there's less and less because Darnell, Darnell
wait a second. Are you trying to say I don't look good on the poster? I mean, like, come on, man. I'm doing what I can out here, right?
Chubby, Sensei, you can tell him, Sensei, he looks fat in his fight poster. It's okay. He's not gonna cry.
They did me bad on that last poster. That last poster, I'm fat as fuck. I'm like, come on, guys, like, give me something here,
But so, like, if Darnell didn't injure his knee, he would end the year with 9-0 because he was supposed to fight 3 months ago against a guy from Ohio.
Yes.
Yeah, and unfortunately, 2 weeks in, his knee started having problems because we overworked it. But he would have finished the year probably with 9-0 because he was supposed to fight that guy, then fight an FCP, and then go back and fight again for Cage War.
Nice.
And
What's the schedule like? What's going forward?
so what?
What's the schedule going forward? Like how many
before
more
we
fights you
before
gonna
we
do?
go that far forward, I want to talk to the RJ thing. I still want to hang on that a little bit, just because RJ seems like a nice guy. I've always had pleasant conversation with him. What makes me upset about him is he doesn't. I think it's a disservice to the sport, and that's why I went off so hard. Is because you don't train, you don't commit, you don't do the right thing. You're 5'6", 260 pounds. You're not gonna. You do the same thing every fight. You throw an overhand right, maybe a high kick, shell up, and fall down. That's not doing the sport any good when people see that. Like, and you're going against guys who are 6'5", jacked out of their fucking minds. Like, it's like, dude, like, listen, I go in there, I get fucked up. I train for fucking hard for 8 weeks. So it's like, at least I'm doing, and I don't want to say that's better. It sounds like I'm being arrogant. I don't mean that at all, but it's like, the hard part is what matters. Like, that's the fucking part. If you go in and lose, bro, I give you all the credit in the world because you did the hard part of training and stepping in the cage. And I respect RJ for stepping in the cage, but I stop respecting the fact that, like, you're not training. You're just showing up because that's all you have right now. Like, you got to build the real stuff, bro. Like, you're going to get hurt. You're letting these people take advantage of you. You're not doing the right thing. Somebody has to have the hard conversation with you. And I think
I'm gonna add into here real quick, Rich. If Rich grappled, right? We've said this 1,000 times on this podcast. I don't want to beat a dead horse. People point to Darnell's fight with Rich, Jose's fight, Kenny's fight. All three of you are fucking legends in Cage Wars. Legends, multiple time champions, all of you. If Rich grapples rather than standing and banging, we're more competitive. I'm not saying we win in fights, but we're competitive, right? Unfortunately for RJ, and I do, like you said, I've had respect for RJ, but he's not putting the training in. He's not taking it seriously. He needs to be in a different weight class. And I know I'm not one to talk. I'm a big boy too, but I'm 6'5", he's 5'6", or whatever, how tall he is. Like, he should be looking to lose weight, get stronger, get the technique down, get the striking down. Where he's training right now is just not doing that for him. I don't know exactly where he's training or whatever.
He's not fucking training.
Well, if he is training, he's not getting the proper advice. And that's where it comes to back to what we talked about, having that trust between you and your instructor. I remember when Darnell was offered to Rich, and he's like, what he said, and we looked at his fight, and I'm like, kid's good, but we're fighting for a title. He should be good. You know what I mean? Like, I thought we could have done something on the ground. We didn't get there, unfortunately, just whatever. But Darnell, what's your path, buddy? You're at 6-0 right now, right?
8-0.
Oh, 8-0? Is that what it is? It's not the apology then. How many more fights are you gonna do into your pro?
I'm probably gonna do 2 to 3 more potentially once I get back in the swing of things, then eventually turn pro going into next year.
Why so long? What's the idea behind that?
He's fighting obviously a Cage War.
Yep.
And then he's fighting Joe again for full contact promotion because Joe won the interim belt because Darnell had to pull out because of the knee injury.
Okay.
And so I just want to segue. The promoter for Full Contact Promotion is really upset with me because we took the fight against Joe prior to his event, but I was out of sync. I was tired that day, and I'm stuck in like a hard place. We've been holding the Cage War belt for over a year due to injuries and all these things. And when Tim approached me, I felt obligated to take on.
Sure.
If the matchup was good, to take on the fight. You know what I mean? So we're committed to fight for Full Contact Promotion against Joe again. But it may not happen. It may happen depending on what the promo wants, because Darnell holds the belt and Joe holds the interim belt. So if it's a close fight, you can run this back again.
Yeah, Sensei, I know exactly what you go through because I hear it too. I've actually removed myself a lot from the MMA, whatever, because the promoters are, and Tim's the best. I'm sorry, if that offends other promoters, I'm sorry. Tim's the best, but you get a lot of shit from fucking people. Why would you fight that guy there? And blah 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 blah. And in the end, you gotta do what's right for Darnell. and that's the only thing you have to worry about. And listen, if it's a close fight, that does nothing but help Full Contact.
Exactly.
I've dealt with the guys from Full Contact. They're good dudes. If this fight's a close fight, a bang or whatever, they're only gonna just ching and run it back. Like, it's not that big of a deal.
Yeah, they're gonna sell you more tickets. I felt
Don't
like
knock him out, Darnell.
I felt like Tim was so nice to let Darnell hold the belt for over a year. Like, literally, we won the belt in November, right? And I felt like, Tim paid for a guy's plane ticket to come in 3 days before we cancel, and he couldn't refund the tickets. So I felt really bad about that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
As a coach, I take pride in getting my fighters to the arena fully healthy, ready to perform. That's what I.
Yep. On weight, medicals in hand.
Yeah.
You know what's funny? I was gonna make a comment about that earlier because I was thinking about that. Where I'm like, a lot of people are like, "Oh, we have 27 titles. We have this. We compete here." And it's like, I'm not going deep into it. All I'm saying is, like, man, you know what matters? When fucking fighters show up on weight, ready to perform, medicals in hand, not fucking over their opponent, not fucking over the promoter, not fucking over the fans. Like, that's the shit that matters. Who cares if a gym's 0-30? If they come up prepared and put on good fights and they're well-trained fighters, like, that's the shit that matters. I think people lose focus on that because they just want to be on a fucking poster, and it drives me crazy. Where it's like,
I can't tell you how many people drop out on us, show up without blood work.
So
they
stupid.
try fake medicals and shit like that.
I'm an old man who could barely fight, and I'm like, I'll put 19 pounds in a week because it's like that's what I signed up for. I made that obligation. If I'm fucking heavy, I'm killing myself to make that weight. I made a promise.
Killed him for the fight before the Jeff Gregory fight. I almost killed the dude. There were spaces between his eyeball and his eyelaid. That's how dehydrated.
I was fucking done, but it was stupid. But that's I got to make that weight because I made a commitment. Like,
yeah. I just want to jump back a little bit.
Yeah,
I think I'm Darnell. Sometimes we're going so fast we don't have a chance to talk. I think my goal for Darnell is that he goes pro sometime in February of next year because we're having a hard time finding amateur fights because some of the amateurs that people are trying to match up, they basically pro. We're talking about amateur guys who can jump into pro and literally can do well in pro because we're dealing with NCAA wrestlers who are like purple belt. I mean, that guy should not be an amateur. Like, he fights right, and that's the level that we are fighting against. So I feel like, why don't we start over again sometime in February, fight from the bottom up as a pro fighter going up. And my ability to analyze fight, I don't want to brag, but I have a very keen eye on analyzing movement, and I can slowly find him fights to get him back on top again, starting from the like we're jumping to a bigger pond and moving his way back up versus being the bigger fish and never grow in a small pond.
I got you. Real quick, Chris Buckley.
That poor guy. I've seen that happen like 3 times.
Yeah. I was gonna say though, I don't know a lot of people who pulled out of Chris Buckley. So we'll move on. Hey guys, it's 10:30. Sorry, we're gonna have to wrap this up just because I gotta get to work tomorrow. But
1 second, I just on a personal. What do you do for fun outside of fighting? Both of you guys.
Spend time in nature.
Watch Cloud Hammer videos.
For me, it's kind of nerdy, but I like to try to figure ways to make money. Like, do design, ways to make money. It's engage my mind. I look at entrepreneurship as combat sport. Getting in there, trying to fight for that resources, try to find ways to earn that cent.
Sensei, I think we're gonna be best friends when we hang out, buddy. I'm just telling you right now. So you and I are very similar, just 2 drastically different body types.
You guys please come down and train. I mean, Corey, in the chat, Corey, I think Chris wanted to come down and train sometime too. So hit us up about that in the future. You guys before the fight,
go ahead.
Please, I mean, that'd be awesome. Let's work on that.
If you need a place to cut weight, let me know. I got a sauna in my gym. So if you need a place,
we're like 6 minutes from the casino.
Yeah.
So if you want to warm up that day there, whatever,
let us know, man.
I have a pink Hello Kitty key. You contact me, I'll let you in.
Oh man!
Thank you for having us.
Yes.
Oh,
anytime. It's so good to get you guys out there. I think you guys are hidden
hidden gem.
I mean,
for sure.
It's fucking crazy. You guys both deserve it. I mean, you're gonna go. The sky's the limit, So we're excited to have you on there, So
thank you.
Thank you so
right,
much,
guys. No problem. Hey, safe training. We'll see you in a couple weeks. All right.
Yeah.
Sure.
All right, everyone. Have a good
Peace,
night.
guys. Oh, wait. Real quick.
What?
Shout out sponsors or websites or
Oh, yeah.
Instagram
You got any
or whatever.
sponsors you want to shout out?
Definitely Coach Tim Hill, Geneva Boxing Club. He sent a fighter down to the Olympic trial. I think she
Selena Grissom.
she almost got onto the Olympic team. That's the level. Coach Hill, the nicest guy ever. I'm kind of protective about him. I don't refer him to anybody. I don't send him down. I don't send people I know unless I know him. Coach Hill, I can't do it without Coach Hill. My wife, my family, and all the people who come in on Sunday to help Darnell ready to get ready for fights. Go ahead.
Absolutely. There's several people I had to think. I know we're running out of time, but
No, it's your world, bro.
Seeing all the people that come and become training partners for me. I have numerous people. I think my family, my girlfriend, everybody who supports me on this journey. Thank you. Like I couldn't do it without them. Obviously, a big thank you to this man right here too. So, yeah, big thank you.
All right, guys. You have a good evening. Everyone, peace. Have a good time.
Thank you all for watching. Thank you for tuning in. Everybody, thank you so much.
Thank you.